Welcome back to Tipster Punters. Mick Gannon here to my right. Feels like there's been so much going on, Mick, since we last spoke. The Spring Carnival, we're in the Terrace Lounge at Flemington last week. We've been on course a couple of times. You've been doing some ripper stuff on All In, interviewing all sorts on YouTube for our YouTube channel. Have you taken a breath yet, mate?
Yeah, it just came up for air on Monday. It was good. It's been a fascinating Spring Carnival. Plenty of ups and downs, highlights, and capped off by a ripping week down at Flemington. It was awesome.
Yeah, so Mick, you were there all week, of course, and rest of us sort of arrived Friday, back Sunday. Ripper, how good did the VRC put it on in the Terrace Lounge? If you haven't experienced that, folks, well, you need to.
Next level. It's elite stuff. It's next level.
Yeah.
And just quietly, Sydney Carnival was enormous, Flemington Carnival was enormous, but the facilities at Flemington, second to none. Unbelievable.
Else. And the people couldn't be friendlier. It was just a great weekend of racing as well. We were treated to so much. We probably don't have enough time here to go through it all, of course. But look, also want a special mention. We're out at Rose Hill for Golden Eagle Day and, of course, Everest Day as well. It was our first time on course, certainly learn a lot. We'll be bigger and better next year. But wanted to thank the punters, the GTO tipsters that came up to us and said hi, and we even got Lincoln on, and it was great. And obviously Cody Lane chimed in there on Golden Eagle Day. So, hey, big thank you. Look out for it next year, more coming your way. And Mick, obviously with the All In show, just going from strength to strength, what punters can expect more of that in 2023?
Yeah, absolutely, more of that. We just did a spring review as well, punters, so jump on, make sure you subscribe, and you never know. Dino might get bored and decide we'll do a show just randomly, who knows?
No, absolutely.
But we'll be back in the summer.
But notwithstanding just the All In show and Tipster, we're going to have a lot more content coming your way next year involving you. So get on the site, tip, tell us what your social media account is, and we'll certainly look to get you on. Hey, Mick, let's talk about quickly what's on this show, and let's get into it. Of course, we're looking at the October Tipsters of the Month. That's the media, the overall and the media. Geez, as always, we get some early mail from some gun tipsters, and we've got some gun ones today. I especially want to mention Craig Lewis from racingbase.com.au. He is a gun. He's always thereabouts, but he's come out in October and absolutely shot the lights out big time, and we're chuffed to have Craig on, someone of the calibre of Craig on. He'll be giving you some early mail, so you must hang around for that.
So here we are, punters, your tipster of the month for October. And I tell you what, there's a couple of names up there that are quite recognisable. Some media personalities. And tell you what, we'll kick off though. Just Wins on top there with gold. Who's done some tipping on the site in the past. Articles as well. What do we know about Just Wins?
I think you've got... Someone asked me once, I'm on the GTO, how do I know who's a good tipster? And I said, look at people who are consistent. Now, this bloke just wins. Very apt. He's been in this top 5, I can remember 3 times. I don't have the official figure. There we go. Follow this bloke, knows what he's doing. Yep. Absolute gun, write some content for us.
The only problem with him is from Queensland, but besides that, up you go. Outstanding. Now in second position here, a bit of debate about whether or not, you should have inserted yourself in the show, but you've done outstanding, mate. Well done. Pat on the back. October, an enormous month. 131% profit on turnover. 31 tips, 26% strike rate, and $8.96 average price. Well done. Hat off to you. Talk us through it.
Look, what I'd say is the example I just gave you, how to find a good tipster, they're always up there.
Yep.
This is my first appearance in the top 5.
Outstanding.
Over many years. Look, I stick to Sydney and Melbourne these days, Mick. I don't tip in every race. I probably have, if I don't like a race, I'll have something smaller. I'd like to think I'd try and learn a bit on the punt. But look, my thing is that, look, unlike yourself, I really do not envy you guys having to put your tips in early. I don't have to. So I put my tips in the morning, and sometimes I put them about an hour or two before the race, and I find that is very useful in terms of getting an understanding of the elements and so forth. But look, that's as much as I'll say. I'm certainly not purporting myself to be someone who's absolutely gun, that's for sure.
Well, you've got enormous in October. So that's huge. Yeah. We have Minstrel 164, second appearance in 3 months.
Yeah, look, we don't know much about Minstrel, a bit of a mystery man.
Change it to Mystery 164.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, could be. Can't really get too much from the gentleman, but obviously letting his stats talk for themselves, I'd say.
Love that. And just
Yeah.
along with the 30 tips just snuck in. Smart, Minstrel, smart.
Yeah.
Speaking of smart, Mystic, well, second appearance for Mystic in 3 runs. I've got that wrong, Mitch. I've given you a wrap. I should have given you a wrap. But Mystic, you're a jet on fire again. We see you here all the time on Twitter now, putting tips up all over the shop. Talk me through it.
Well, look, I mean, as you said, second time in 3 months. There we go. There's consistency again. Look, last time we spoke about the approach, certainly knows what she's doing. I just love the value she finds. You know, $22.21. You're sitting back and saying, fluke. Wait, no, it's not.
No.
Back the Melbourne Cup. One of the tips was the Melbourne Cup winner, Golden Trip. Look, I just think the stats are there.
130%
someone you want to
profit
follow.
on turnover.
Absolutely.
94 tips. There comes a point where you go, that's not a fluke anymore.
It's not a fluke. And twice in 3 months.
Incredible.
That's not a fluke. It's impossible to fluke.
Wherever you are, Mystic, just shoot me a message, give me some tips, please. Righto, Axel, 1988. You don't have to do that, of course. We can just jump on the site
Jump on the site and buy them.
Axel, 1988, youngster.
Yeah,
the
look,
youngster, 1988.
3 winning months in a row.
Yep.
Like really focuses on Sydney and Melbourne, and found a winner at $30.30. A horse called Perfect Thought. Know anything about that one, Nick?
Oh, don't stop. I dead set had it going for a brand new car up at Newcastle, jumped off, and it's won and paid $30. And anyway, let's not go there.
There
Alex,
we go.
Axel, you're a champion. You're better than me. You've nailed it.
There we go, punters. Now let's look at the media top 5.
Here we are with Media Tipster of the Month for October, and on top there, Damien DeGuara. We touched on that before. Superstar from the Great Tip-Off. He's jumped on there, and if you go to follow him on Twitter, you'll notice his tips lob there about 10 to 20 minutes before each race, and they tend to salute. So there you go, punters. There's a steer. Number 2, Matt
I did
Coxall.
put them on the morning on Saturday. I'm just saying.
Sorry, that was a wrap. I'm not trying to get your followers in.
that's
Jump
right.
on, following,
Oh,
set
okay,
set
I got
notifications.
you. There we go.
It wasn't a
There we
stitch
go.
up. Was not a stitch up at all.
No, of course not.
Matt Coxall, number 2, silver medal. Well done, Matt. 62% profit on turnover.
From Oz Race. Great guys out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great guys. And Matt's really strong tipster, and they've got a whole bunch out there. Obviously, Blackie was in the runner-up there of Tipster of the Year last year.
Outstanding. Up you go. And in third position there, Craig Lewis.
Yeah. Spoken about Craig, just a gun.
Just keeps lobbing, doesn't he?
Yeah, South Aussie specialist,
Yep.
but lately has been getting stuck into Perth form and even NT form. But look, South Australia is his specialty. And I think he tipped 5 out of 6 the other day. I think that was Saturday. It was just unbelievable.
Incredible.
So he is a gun. He's not slowing down. So if you want to follow someone, Craig Lewis is certainly someone to look out for there from Racing Base.
Without a doubt. And in fourth position there, Tony Nieburn from racing.com.
Yeah, Tony, and also from Winning Punters, Tony does a great job there. And look, strong wraps on Tony, so no surprise to see him there. 39% pot. And that's off a decent number of tips to a 54.
That was the strike rate of 41%. Tony,
Yeah.
up you go, son.
Yes,
and
that's better than 1 in 3.
Absolutely. In fifth position there, Rooter, Chris Roots from the Sydney Morning Herald. 101 tips. That's only 300 less than me. That's fantastic.
No, Rooter's great. And, you got to remember, he's putting those tips into the SMH publication.
He's
I know I say it
doing
all
very
the
well.
time. But, in line with what I said before, I put him in a couple of minutes before the morning of.
Yeah.
Rooter's probably putting him in Wednesday evening, Thursday morning at best, and producing that sort of performance. Just to let you know how good that is, I saw Rooter on the morning of the Everest, and he just walked the track. He can't use that information in his tips because they're already published in the SMH. So that sort of tells you how sharp that guy is.
It's pretty impressive stuff. Up you go, guys. Top 5. Well done.
Okay, Nick, we've come to that part of the show where we look at the tipsters who went really, really well in October, and we get them on for some early mail for the weekend.
How good's a bit of early mail?
It's great, but it's so hard to do, right? I mean, when we get these guys to do it, it's just come out the information. We always tell the punters that, but hey, they're pretty sharp, these guys, so they probably know value when they see it. So here we go. So first up, obviously, we're going to talk about Craig Lewis, who I mentioned before, gun. South Aussie punter, or South Aussie tipster, but obviously with Racing Base these days, he's extending the remit. He's covering Northern Territory, he's covering Perth, and we asked him to give us an early tip, so here it comes.
Yeah, the great tip-off and all the great punters out there. Thank you for having me on the show. My name is Craig Lewis from racingbase.com.au, where I provide all my racing tips for South Australia and Western Australia. Now, with all the good racing starting to come to a close in Melbourne, the spotlight now fits firmly on Perth, with some really great racing coming up from Ascot this Saturday. We are keen to back race 8, number 10, My Bella May. We had a good look at this filly last Saturday when we plonked her straight into our WA Black Bookers. Just loved the way she zoomed on by them going to the furlong. She put a good space on her rivals and then just had a bit of a stargaze, a bit of a look around wondering where the others were. That's a bit of an experience thing. There's a lot more pace, a lot more pressure with a lot of 1,000-metre horses coming to this race on Saturday. She stays to 1,200 metres, which really suits her. She can get to them a bit later with that pace and pressure on and hopefully go straight through the line for Paddy Carberry. A lot of good education for her. So that is race 8, number 10, My Bella May. And do remember, jump onto the racingbase.com.au website, where Steve Bennett has you covered for all things racing in New South Wales and Queensland, while also keeping us informed on the Saturday market movers. Don't forget too, Adam Cusworth has us covered in Racing Victoria, with his tips throughout the week and on the Saturdays, including your Saturday roughies around the nation, or just simply follow his multi-bets if you're looking for your value bets for the Saturday. 2, be sure to check out Aaron Hamilton's Group 1 tips on racingbase.com.au, where he's found as the last 2 Melbourne Cup winners, by the way. Easy to think now, very elegant gold trip. Why don't we all think about that? Hey, great prices, and Aaron's constantly coming up with Group 1 tips, Group 1 winners. So keep checking out racingbase.com.au. Don't forget, too, our Saturday Black Bookers. The segment is out early in the week. Thanks again, guys. Happy punting, and go the great tip-off at racingbase.com.au.
Hey guys, Matt Coxall here from Perth. One of the better bets on the card this weekend, I think, comes up in race 6, which is the Champion Fillies Stakes, and it's number 3, Vampy Play. At the moment, it's paying around $3, $3.20. Last start was an absolute forgive. Just got held up the entirety of the straight, never got a look at them. The start before was pretty similar, only got out late and thundered home. I think that the favourite laced up heels is going to be a fair way back from its barrier, and I think Vampire Play is just going to lob a couple off the speed, one out, and then be very tough to beat. All my tips can be found on ozrace.com.au. They're posted every Saturday morning there, and best of luck.
There we go, punters. Another show of tipster Mick Gannon. That means it's that special time. Mixed Moral.
Mixed Moral, we're going to go to Newcastle, race 9, number 1, Wahia Falls. This horse is an absolute moral with a capital M, as long as it doesn't get a lob and run in the Hunter. I think it's about 4th reserve for emergency.
Price at the moment, Mick?
$2.70.
$2.70.
It'll win well. Let's just hope it doesn't get a start in the Hunter for the Selfish Punter Stakes. If it does get a start there, back it as well.
All right, so there we go. It's that confident. Wow. There's a moral if you've ever heard one. Hey, just before we get into the wind-up, punters, something to mention. We thought what we do, we don't have any big races coming up, so we're using the board over my left shoulder to give you the running for the tips of the year. Now, look, this wasn't my idea, Mick, but it's up there.
What do we got? 25.
So the numbers the numbers are roughly the pot for the year. So I'm on.
You're flying.
I
thought you were 25 to 1. There you go.
No.
I want to have 1,000 on Terry Leighton. Can I do that?
Yeah, Terry Leighton.
Can I get 9s? I have 1,000 at 9s.
No, but he's on 9% pot at the moment.
That's all right. I'll just take it.
All right, you'll take it. He's sharp. Jared Wessel, young tipster who does some work with Sky. Yep. Outstanding.
Up you go, Wes.
Actually puts the stuff on our site as well.
Yep.
Latham Anderson used to put the stuff on our site now with the West Australian. Tony Woad, Gun, North Queensland.
Whoa, what are you good for?
Sky Ray. I tell you, he's good for tipping winners. This bloke here, Alan Utterson, on our site, absolute gun if you're going to follow someone. Glenn Munsey. What a year, Muns.
Yeah, he's low flying.
There's one for the Muns. He is absolutely killing it. 16% pot and puts a fair bit of volume. Brett Moody, you'll see his tips on Twitter and on Sky. Absolute gun. Formulator. Now, there's a gun. This guy here has won probably 3 tipsters of the year. Lifetime profit maker off best tote.
Might have a saver on him as well.
He's a gun. They're long when he tips them, but if you're happy to hang around, he's proven he can do something good. Winning for place, this is another gun tipster. You'll see him on social media as well. Look, I'm at the top.
Are you going to put any more tips in, or are you going to fold? You're going to fold
No,
up.
you're
I reckon
gonna-
you might
No,
fold up
no,
like
no,
Farnan.
No, yeah, I probably will fold.
No, but if you don't put
I'm-
any tips in, you're a chance.
I'm keen to get down the ladder, so I will be putting tips in.
Go on, mate.
You'll see
Kick.
them on my Twitter
Give them
page.
a hiding. Get some tips out. Give them a hiding. Put
There
a
we
gap
go.
in them.
No, I'll leave the pro stuff to you guys. So, hey, punters, lots coming. Don't forget, we'll be back here in December and January. Got a special show planned for January. That'll be hopefully leading into the Magic Millions, of course,
Yes.
the Magic Millions. And of course, All In's got some great things, and there'll be more shows coming next year, more great content. Subscribe to the channel. It's a little bell here on YouTube. Subscribe, and you'll know as soon as our shops drop, and they're getting more and more popular too, Mick. I'm
Absolutely.
noticing comments everywhere, likes everywhere. There's got to be something good going on there.
You know what? Get around it.
Yeah.
Go well, punters.
All right, see you next time, punters.